Hey guys, and welcome to episode 79 of Podkinz. And of course, I'm here with my co-host, Mandy. Hey, Mandy.
Hey, Michael.
Now, I'm really excited about this episode because this is one of those episodes where we're going to bring in some Webkinz artists, and they're actually going to talk about the inspiration behind some of the items that they've worked on recently. So that is really cool.
Yeah, and they are also going to help us take a look at some of the entries in our item design contest. So it's great that the artists are here for that because, they know better than anyone what works.
Now, Mandy, before we introduce them, there's something that you wanted to talk about. Because recently you and I actually went into the clubhouse on Webkinz.com with our little avatars, pets.
Yeah.
And some people, Mandy, people were pretty convinced that it was really me, but some people, seemed to have a hard time believing that it was really you. What happened there?
Well, what happened was years ago when I first started and I adopted my cute little pig that we see here, I decided that my real name is spelled with a Y, and I thought, well, I'll give my Webkinz character a different spelling, and I spelled it with 2 E's, so it's Mandy. And then I took some time off, and when I came back and I came on a Podkinz episode, my first ever Podkinz episode, when Janelle was here, Janelle just wrote Mandy with a Y. I guess she forgot that it had been with 2 E's, which at the time I didn't really think anything of it because I didn't think that one day I'd be trying to convince people that I was really...
There you go.
The Webkinz in the trading room. So, but that was their big hang up was, why does this pig have 2 E's and you have a Y? And the thing is, I know you suggested, Michael, that I adopt a new pig and just spell it Mandy with a Y, but then I would feel bad for my original
And
pig.
you know what, guys? If ever you wonder if it is a Gans staffer in the clubhouse or not, we actually have these toques, these white toques.
And I have
with
been
the
wearing
Gans.
the
It says Gans on the front. So there you go, if it's any question. And we,
so it is me.
Yeah. There you go. And you know what? There is a chance of running into us at the clubhouse or the park. Who knows? But anyway, let's continue with this episode. Look at that. The splash page here, the title page is really cool. There's all paint and stuff all over.
You and I are not as good artists as the people here
No.
Because look at the mess we made.
I'm going to introduce them right now. So remember last episode, Mandy, episode 78, we gave away that Magic W dripping t-shirt to everybody.
Yes, and we have someone here.
Yes. Well, the
created
designer of that Magic W t-shirt is actually in studio with us today. It's Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Now, Mike, you've been on this podcast before a few times, right, talking about some of the concept drawings that you've done. And so you're back today to talk about the party time theme. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you're here. And our next guest actually has also been on the podcast before, and it is Erik. Hey, Erik, how's it going?
Great. How's it going with you?
Very good. Now, you were last on episode 64 when we talked about the hotel theme, and you explained to us that you were an implementation artist, and that's a really fancy word. I think that's pretty cool. And can you just tell us really quickly what that entails?
Well, what that means is I get all the great art from all of the artists, and I bring it to life. I put it all together, and I put it into the rooms and make it playable for our all of our players.
Sorry, I was just going to say, we have our stationary items that sit there and you can turn them around, but then there are some items that do cool things, right? And Erik is integral to making those cool things happen.
Awesome. We are going to talk about that a little later, but these guys are going to stick around the whole episode, and guys, feel free to jump in whenever you want. Before we get to the art, I just want to mention that, Mandy, we are giving away 3 community codes today.
I know. That is so exciting.
Yeah. So, we recently had our bake sale event at Webkinz. It ended, but of course, all the recipes that you can make with your baked goods still are available and never expire. So what we're going to do today is give away 3 codes for 3 baked goods: the donut, the Danish, and the tart that you can actually see on screen right now. If you are listening to us on iTunes, I suggest that you search for Podkinz episode 79 on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Webkinz so you can see exactly what we're talking about and see the artwork that we're talking about today.
And it's good, too, because when we do give the codes at the end, you're going to want to pause the video and write them down.
Yes, actually, a little twist, Mandy. They're not going to be at the end. They're going to be hidden throughout the episodes. Now, they're
I
not.
love that.
I know. So you're going to have to find them, and they're not very hard to find. You'll see the whole code next to an image of the baked good that we're giving away, and that's how you're going to know where they are. And by the way, when you combine those baked goods on a stove, you can unlock these really cool prizes like this add-on to the hotel theme. It's a fancy hotel dining chair.
So that is the chair that you get from the particular 3 we're giving away?
Yes, the
Cool.
Danish,
Okay.
the tart, and the
Donut,
donut.
right.
But you might have baked goods left over that you might want to use to combine to make different stuff. But that's the idea. Now, that idea from this bake sale, Mandy, it really gave us an idea for a player contest, right?
That's right. Well, because with the bake sale items, they're all items that work with existing themes in the W shop, right?
Yes, like extra add-ons. Yeah.
Exactly. So we decided in our celebrations around Webkinz Day, we thought, why don't we give some of our players an opportunity to make items that would also go with existing W shop themes? And I have to tell you, one of the hardest parts of our job is going through entries in contests because there were so many good ideas. There really, really were. And I think we can get lots of inspiration from all of the ideas that were entered.
Yeah, so we're going to look at 10. And out of these 10, 5 are actually going to be made into real items that you'll be able to buy for Kinz Cash from the W shop.
Right. And we'll be announcing those 5 on Mother's Day.
There you go. Now, Mandy, these are essentially concept drawings that players have handed in, right? Or players have uploaded to the Share Center.
Yeah, so they're simple drawings that the players have done. Some have been more elaborate. Some have been pencil sketches because we just welcome all ideas and all skill levels. And then what happens is our amazing designers like Mike here will take the drawings that the players have done and turn them into fabulous designs that work in Webkinz.
Yes, and so I'm so glad that the artists are here today because they can comment on these as well. So let's look at our first 2 of the 10. And there, Bullseye Jingles 444 has created a concept for a modern train that would go with our Enchanted Train Station theme. And Dinosaur Tracker 13 has created a really cool Starry Night telescope that would be included in our Starry Night theme. Now, Mike, you do a lot of concepts for actual Webkinz items here. What do you think of these 2 concepts?
Yeah, oh, I love these. You know, like I was looking through the concepts that you guys got. And of course, the first thing I look at are the things that have lots of color. I mean, that's what I love to do when I'm working on concepts. And seeing these, it's fantastic. Just, you know, the quality of them, the color, it's wonderful.
They are beautiful. And now that telescope, I thought if it actually got made into an item, Erik, it would be cool if you could like click on that and it would open up the Alyssa Star Challenge activity. Is that something that we could do?
I believe so.
Okay, so Mandy, really beautiful here, right?
Oh, really beautiful. And, you know, we have that gorgeous train that goes with the Enchanted Train Station, right? That is sort of an old-fashioned train.
Right.
And this is really neat to have a new one. And I think you and I were looking at some room design state, and I didn't realize how many cool telescopes there are in Webkinz.
Yeah.
So it's really neat if you're someone who likes collecting telescopes.
Yep.
This would be a fantastic one to add to the collection.
Lots of people collect lots of different things, so great job. Now let's look at 2 more here. Now, this is a donut display. It was sent in by It's Me Pickles, and this one would be working with the cafe theme. There's a hotel cleaning cart as well, and that was sent in by 1 John 4-8, and that, of course, would work with the hotel theme. Now, Mike, you were actually one of the artists who worked on the hotel theme. Do you think that this one would fit in nicely?
Yes, definitely. It was a really fun theme to work on, the hotel theme. And I definitely like seeing more concepts for that theme. I mean, there's already a lot of cool stuff, but this stuff really fills it in, fits perfectly.
And there was a lot of entries for hotel-themed stuff, right, Mandy?
Oh, I think it was probably one of our most popular. Campkins was also popular. I mean, there were a lot, but yeah, hotel theme was one that we really got a lot of entries for. And people have obviously been really excited by that new theme.
Nice. And I could see this working with a lot of other type of rooms as well, like maybe at a movie theater, you know, because you always have to clean up in a movie theater, or at a school or something like that, maybe even a mall, you know. So you'd be able to use this in a lot of ways. I love that donut display.
I know. I was just thinking that if we ended up making that one, we'd have to put the bake sale donut in there.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So,
I was even thinking like a dispenser or something.
Oh, that would be
That might be a little bit too elaborate because I don't know if we have that kind of stuff, but definitely like a fridge, right?
Erik, this would work well as a fridge where you could store food, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And as you were saying, Michael, we could actually do it as a dispenser as well.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. And Erik, I've always wondered, you know, like we have all different sizes of fridges in Webkinz World. What is the biggest fridge that we have? Like how many items could you put in there?
right now, I guess it would be 15.
Very cool. That is a lot and great designs, guys. Here are two more. By the way, how amazing are these artists and how talented are our players? Because these are all really great designs and really well put together. But as we can see here, sorry, it's a Mega Modern fireplace. That would work, of course, with the Mega Modern theme. That was sent in by JRZ2000. And there's a fantasy theme column, and this was sent in by Bopper911.
I'm just going to correct something because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, JRZ 2000 called it a Mega Modern fireplace room divider,
Right.
which was one of the reasons it jumped out at me because obviously it would be a two-sided fireplace, which I'm not sure. Maybe Erik could talk about whether we could do something like that. Immediately, I loved that idea when I saw it. But what do you think, Erik? Is that something that could be possible?
Oh, definitely. And actually, the Mega Modern theme is one of my favorite themes, and this fireplace divider would actually fit really, really well in it.
Definitely needs
really
a
like the design.
fireplace. Yeah. And those columns there, Erik, while we have you here on the mic, it looks like there that the player's intending here when you rotate that, maybe one rotation has these unicorn heads that are throughout and the other one is without. And that is definitely something that we can do. And we've done a lot of that in the past, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that would look great.
Very good. Mike, how important is colors when you're coming up with these concept drawings? I mean, I know that you definitely work a lot with the colors, but maybe you're not so tied to it when the final artist creates an item to it, right? Like the final artist looks at your concepts, takes the whole look and feel of it, and then maybe add their own touch at the end.
I think as a visual person, I think just colors are really important for an item in a room. You want it to be appealing. You want it to stand out. When I do concepts, I am thinking about color a lot. Large surface areas of color.
Interesting. Yeah. So very important. And I guess especially when you're trying to match it with other items in the theme. So great job. We're going to move on here. I love this one. It's a Mighty Jungle Tub. And this was sent in by Monkey Fun 15. That would work with the jungle theme that's in the W shop. And here's an art supplies cabinet. And this was sent in by Midnight Fireflies 17. And that one would work with the Creative Studio theme.
Yeah, again, these are both really neat ideas. And I have to say, as soon as I saw that jungle tub, I thought, do we have something like that? Because that is such a neat idea. Like, we have so many cool rocky items. Like, if we remember back to last year's marshmallow collection.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought, we need a tub for our pets to sort of bathe in the jungle. I'll bet you that would get a lot of use. And then the art supplies cabinet obviously goes with the creative theme. And I love the paint splattered on the front because, you've got your messy hands when you have to open that cupboard door. And I also love the pencil sharpener screwed into the side because there is nothing more important than a pencil sharpener that always stays in the same place. If you have those little tiny ones, you're always looking for them, but one attached to a wall or cabinet.
Yeah.
Very useful.
I could see it working in a school or a classroom as well. Not necessarily tied there, but really interesting drawings. And I love the detail definitely that went into each one. So let's look at the final two concept drawings here. Again, 5 of these are going to be turned into actual Webkinz World items that you'll be able to buy at the W shop. Here's a cold treats freezer, and this was sent in by My Beamer. And the idea here is it's supposed to go along with the general store theme. It's like one of those freezers filled with popsicles and that you would see at a convenience store. And then here we go. I was surprised that we don't even have one of these, but it's a diner menu that's meant to work with the diner room theme. And this was sent in by Samilina.
I know. I was thinking like Semolina.
Yeah.
So Samilina.
Really interesting name.
Yeah, I know. I could imagine that diner menu ending up like a really retro look.
Totally.
And they've gone that way with the red checks and the food. And then the cold treats freezer is really fun, just appealing. You just want to grab something from out of there on a hot day.
Yeah, we have so many room themes. Erik, can you think of one of your favorites maybe off the bat that we have or that you've worked on in the past?
Well, the diner theme I actually really liked, and this the menu that we're taking a look at here. There's some kind of menus that are like a whiteboard that they write on different specials of the day and things like that. So we could actually have that with this item. Every time the player clicks on it, they could see different specials of the day could pop up and things like that. Yeah.
That is a great idea.
It is. So there you go. Good luck to all the 10 finalists, so to speak. We'll be posting on Sunday the actual winners of this contest who will be made into items. Now, Mandy, one item we've decided that we are going to make into a new Webkinz item. It doesn't necessarily has it tied into any specific theme, but we just thought it was a really great item that we want to include in Webkinz.
Yeah, we just thought, wow, this is something that we should have in Webkinz, is a wheelchair, and it could go with any theme really, and it's a really great idea because we have all sorts of different players, and I'm sure some have disabilities, and you know what? It'll be a great vehicle for our pets to sit in, and
Yes.
I feel silly. I cannot remember what the prize was for this contest, but Chocolate Cat will be getting a prize.
Well,
if
find
I could
out
remember.
find out on Sunday, guys. You got to visit Webkinz News on Sunday in order to find out what prizes these winners will get. But congratulations, Chocolate Cat, on your design. It will be made into a Webkinz item.
The Inside Scoop!
All right. It is very exciting because on May 10th, Mandy, we're going to release a new room theme, and it's the Party Time room theme.
That is perfect because I am going to a birthday party on May 12th, so I will be ready.
Well, now you're going to be able to create the ultimate birthday party for your pets or any type of party because this theme is all done, wrapped up, and ready to go on May 10th. And I think it turned out really well. Now, have you been following all the concept drawings that we've been posting on Webkinz News?
I have been looking at the concept drawings and oh my gosh, it's so colorful. It's so much fun. And you know what? I like the fact that we ended up going with a more subtle color in the background because everything pops against it and the confetti on the ground.
Yes.
It turned out so beautifully.
Yeah, well, you can see right now a room that has all been set up and ready for a party. Here's a look actually at each individual item. Now, there's 14 items in total, which is pretty cool. But Erik, there's almost more than 14 when you think of it because that snack platter and the gifts, they change with each rotation, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Actually, those are some of my favorite items actually from this theme. The presents, because like Mandy said, since it's kind of like a little bit cooler colors on the wallpaper and floor, I love filling the room with all the different kind of presents. And it just looks like there's presents everywhere. Some of them are hidden. The snacks,
Yes.
you can rotate them and you have a whole selection of different, there's a punch, there's like a vegetable platter and some cupcakes.
And I think, is there a whole cake of that?
Oh, and there's a
Yeah.
whole cake.
Right.
And 2 slices are already cut and ready.
A lot of our players love these presentable foods, right?
It's such a great added touch. When you finished a room, I feel like it's never really finished until you put in some cute presentables on the tabletops. It really, or in your kitchen, when you built a kitchen, it's nice to put some food
Exactly.
out on the counter. So I love the presentable foods too. It's
Because,
a
and they'll
really-
work for a variety of rooms.
Oh, yeah, they don't have to be used in this room. I mean, it's always a good time for cake, isn't it? And of course, you should also always be getting your veggies. So, yeah, it's perfect anywhere.
Cool. Now, Mike, taking a look at all these items, did you have a favorite one to concept?
Working with balloons and confetti is just always lots of fun. And this is actually the first time I've seen all these 3D items together because I worked on the concepts, but
Right.
the items were distributed amongst the 3D artists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything is just really well done.
So now, when you were creating the concepts for these, did you draw from any memories of the past or any experiences of the past from maybe birthday parties or parties that you've been to, or was this completely out of your imagination?
I'm sure subconsciously I was drawing upon past parties and stuff. Definitely working with the creative team helps a lot. That's really inspiring.
Very cool. Well, they all look great. Now, if you guys are okay with it, I wanted to take a look at some of those concept drawings and then compare them to the final items, and maybe you guys can talk a little about the creative process.
I was just going to say, whoever pinned the tail on that donkey was very good. They obviously won the prize.
Actually, that's a good point, Mandy. Erik, can you briefly explain how this item works? Because it's pretty unique, and this is something that we haven't really done before.
I did not know there was anything to explain.
Oh, yeah. This item actually was a lot of fun bringing it together. And you can actually play it. Like when you first put it up on the wall, there's no tail, obviously. The game's ready to be played. And every time you click on it, you're kind of just taking your turn trying to put the tail on. So it goes up in a random place every time you click on it.
That
Very
is
cool.
so cool. I did not know that.
So you can actually play pin the tail of the donkey with your pets in the room.
That's right.
Very
yeah.
cool. And actually, that donkey there is based off of a donkey that we have on one of our party pack games where you can actually play an interactive version of Pin the Tail on the donkey. Now, this is the first concept that we're going to look at today. And Mike, again, was the artist who created this concept. Really, really colorful here, Mike. You were talking before how important colors were here. So how did you come up with that palette?
It's hard to say. I think there was a bit of playing, bright blues, bright purples, and pinks. Actually, I did do a couple of variations of the flooring, if you recall.
Right.
And this was the one that we kind of narrowed it down to.
Cool. Well, let's take a look compared to the final item. As I say, it is a little bit different, but now there's interesting things here that I noticed. Now, the colors maybe in the background were toned down a little bit, as Mandy was saying, because that kind of maybe would help the items pop. And the streamers were actually moved to the top. Now, I think that was really clever, and because I believe it was when you add like a window or something to the room, it would cut it off, right? And create that illusion. So the streamers being above, it's not going to interfere with any wall items, correct?
Yeah, that's right, actually. It allows the players to put the pin the tail in the donkey game wherever they like to.
Right.
And the last birthday party I went to, the streamers were on the ceiling, so I think it made sense to me.
There you go. And of course, the balloons were added in each corner as well, which I thought were a really nice touch. You can really see the creative process and the thinking behind coming up with these items. So really interesting. Now let's look at the next one. This one's a really colorful table, and it's a party time dining table. And I love this because it might be like a pretty nice table underneath, but it's just covered up with this plastic cover, and I thought that was really interesting. Mike, is there anything that you want to address with this one? How did you come up with the balloon design?
I don't know. It's very festive. It's very
Right.
colorful.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember as a kid growing up, my mother would always cover the kitchen table with the plastic.
Totally.
I definitely had lots of birthday parties like this.
I love it because it definitely looks like something that you would pick up at a party store or something.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that's recognizable, I think.
Yeah. Now here's the final item, and it is very, very close to the actual concept. I noticed, though, that the trim kind of was changed from the pink to the red, and really only the red, blue, and green balloons were featured on top. Now, Erik, do you know if this was something like to create almost like the wallpaper, just to tone down the colors just a little bit? Because when you're putting, those beautiful presents and foods on top of the tables, you don't want it to be overly distracting, right?
Yeah, that is right. The colors were kind of pulled back a little bit on the top to allow for all the fun stuff that all the presentable food and snacks and presents and stuff that are along with this theme.
Yeah.
But to the part that actually shows this item's character is the red trim.
Yeah.
Because that part never gets covered up.
Yeah, and it's just, I could just imagine this filled with those gifts or filled with the food, and I think they're perfect companions. So we're just going to look at a couple more here. There's actually two. So this one is the Party Time Kitchen Island, and this one is really neat. Love the colors that you used here, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, purple is just such a creative color. And of course, I had to throw in a yellow-orange kind of towel on the side there to complement that.
The towel edition there really makes it feel like a kitchen island. So that's really cool. Now, I love how this one turned out because there's actually 4 rotations to this item as well, right, Erik? But 2 of those rotations you can use to have balloons and have it all dressed up for the party. And then 2 of the other rotations just looks like a regular kitchen island. So it almost feels like players can decorate their kitchen or decorate this item for a party and then take down the decorations almost when the party's over. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
I could see so many design possibilities with this.
Yeah, I know. And I was going to say, Mike was talking about the purple. Also, purple is like such a Webkinz color, right? And we just celebrated Webkinz Day. It all sort of feels like it ties together to me, like the party and Webkinz and the purple. And yeah, I love this kitchen island. And I was going to say, with the sink that goes with this island, I like the fact that it's a double sink because, I'm sure we must have done some double sinks, but I don't recall them. And I thought that was an interesting, different one because obviously you do get a lot of double sinks in kitchens. So it's a great idea.
And I love overall that, usually we have beds and living rooms and things included, but this is mainly like a dining room kitchen theme, which is really cool because that's where you'd have a party. Now, this is the last concept drawing we're going to look at today, and it's a party time window. I love windows in Webkinz world because it really extends the world and makes, you can look outside and it just really takes you beyond the walls of your room and really piques the imagination as to what exists outside those walls.
And what I love about this is that sometimes when you're planning a party and you're expecting people, you put your balloons on the front door or you hang it from the window. And I like the fact that they've hung the balloons outside so that anybody approaching goes, oh, that's where the party is.
Absolutely. Now, Erik, here's a look at the final item, and there's those balloons that you can see outside the window. But the cool thing about this item is that there are different states to it, right? So one has balloons and one doesn't have balloons. So if you don't want to use it for a party room, you can use this window in any room that you'd like, correct?
Yeah, that's right. If it's a different part of the house and you put the parties only in the one room, you can have the window, and then every time you click on it, it adds the balloons.
Right.
When you click on it again, it takes them away for when you're cleaning up the party afterwards.
Exactly. I love that you can actually clean up and set up for a party. And Erik, the scene outside actually changes depending if you put it on the left wall or the right wall, right? There's like a city scene overlooking these roofs. And then what's the other one? Is it like a garden scene or something like that?
That's right. What we're looking at right here, you see beyond the town, there's a little bit of like a nice cool mountainside, a little bit of a forest scene. So the view out the other side of the room is actually just the forest going off into the distance.
That's really cool. And now, Mike, the final item there is white as opposed to the one that you came up with, and that was a little bit more in the purple. And I'm assuming that's because the wallpaper and the flooring changed. So the window essentially had to change to match it as well, correct?
Yeah, that it makes sense. The white frame, it helps give a bit of contrast from all the coloring that's outside. And I really do like this theme for this time of year because it's the springtime and all these colors are coming out, and this is such a great theme for that.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much, Erik and Mike, for being here.
No problem.
I love it, Mandy, when the artists come in and talk about their work.
I know. I mean, we admire your work so much, guys. And it's great to hear the creative process.
Yes, and there's one final look at all the items together. There's that double sink, Mandy, that you were talking about.
Yeah, and that column, too. I mean, that just is it's a classic column design, but oh my gosh, when you add all the balloons and ribbons, look at how great that looks.
Awesome. So guys, I hope that you liked listening to this episode, and I hope maybe you learned something about the whole creative process here. And Mandy, if people want to send us an email, how can they do that?
If you want to send us an email, we would love to hear from you, and we might even read it out on a Podkinz.
Cool.
And the address is podkinz@gans.com.
All right, guys, talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.